Jesus of Nazareth. You can love him, you can ignore him and live your life without reference to him, but today I know you're interested enough to tune into this very talk, and I'm glad you did. My name's Paul Baisden. You're watching Really Big Questions, and today's topic is, who was Jesus really? You know, from time to time, you'll see this on game shows or something. The question will be, if you were hosting a fantasy dinner party and could ask 3 people from history to come and hang out with you, whom would you invite? And if you love sports, you might start thinking your favorite athlete. You might want LeBron to come, or maybe these days Patrick Mahomes. Or if you're thinking about politicians, you might say, I would want Abraham Lincoln or FDR, or maybe the smartest person, and you'd think, I want Einstein to come, maybe Steve Jobs. But you know, it's amazing how many people would say Jesus Christ. If I'm going to host a dinner party with people from the past, I want him. And they would say the reason they want him is because he was the most unique person they believe ever lived. Well, I want you to think about how religions have come about. Most of them are founded by a person. Buddha was the founder of Buddhism, Muhammad for Islam, Moses for Judaism, and Jesus, of course, for Christianity. But Jesus is the only one of all those who claim to be divine. I mean, all the others would be considered crazy if they said that they were God. But the New Testament records relate these miracles that Jesus performed, and they suggest that he was more than a man. So if you agree that the Gospels are really credible and trustworthy sources of history, parenthesis here, I have a talk on that called, Is the Bible True? So if that is a question mark for you, please watch that. It's short. I think you'll enjoy it. But if you think that the New Testament Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are potentially credible, trustworthy sources of history, then you already think that they portrayed Jesus as he was. So how was Jesus? What did he look like in terms of his life? Well, when you read the Gospels, the first thing you notice is that Jesus was not at all like any other people in the story. I know he was human. He slept, he talked, he ate, he taught, he drank, he visited. He had a normal human life in that sense. But in terms of temperament and personality and everything else, he was different. Think about some of the more obvious characters in the New Testament. Simon Peter. He was a loudmouth fisherman. He cursed, he had an anger problem, and when the going got tough, he saved his own skin at the expense of Jesus' life. Think about James and John. Their nicknames were the sons of thunder, meaning they were hot-headed brothers, and man, were they political opportunists, always wanting to figure out how to move up in Jesus' little organization. Judas Iscariot was greedy, thieving, and traitorous. Herod, the reputed king of the Jews at that time, was a power-hungry, bloodthirsty ruler who killed his sons and his wives in order to consolidate power. And then there's Jesus. He's the only one who kept his head when everybody else was losing theirs. He's the one who taught about God with authority. People constantly said, we've never heard anyone teach like him. He cared for the down and out as well as the up and out. It didn't matter to him if you were poor or rich. In both cases, he called you to follow God. And he remained true to his friends, even when they weren't true to him. He forgave sinners, even though they hadn't sinned against him. You know, if I sin against someone and another person comes up and says they forgive me, that's weird. And yet Jesus said to other people, I forgive you, even though they never did anything wrong against him. Suggesting, of course, that they'd sinned against God and he was God. And he indeed did claim to be the Son of God and called God, well, the Aramaic word is Abba, but the closest thing for us is Daddy. So if you have a little child that ever calls you Daddy, that's how Jesus talked to his dad. So who is Jesus? Well, if he's not who he claimed to be, the Son of God, then what options do we have before us? Well, I'm indebted to one of my very favorite writers of all time, longtime English professor at Oxford and Cambridge named C.S. Lewis. And Lewis says, well, we should first off say, is he a great teacher? And almost everybody agrees he's a great teacher. Even atheists say he's a great teacher. But surely a great teacher tells the truth. Can you imagine recommending a great teacher in any area of your life and say, oh, by the way, they lie. They're a great teacher, but you can't trust what they say. It doesn't make sense. So was Jesus a liar? Well, a liar would hardly be a great teacher. So that leaves us with one last option. Was he a lunatic? You can't really argue that a lunatic would be a great teacher if he thinks he's divine, but if he's really not, and he's just kidding himself or not even aware of what a psycho or sociopath he is. So logically, there's just one option left if Jesus was a great teacher. If he really wasn't a liar and wasn't a crazy person, then the only option left is the only one he intended to be left. And that is that he was and is the Son of God and Lord. That's who Jesus claimed to be. Logically, I think that answer makes the most sense. And if that's true, then what does that mean to your life? Listen, I hope I've stimulated your thinking today. That's my goal. I hope what I've said makes sense to you, that logically you're going, yeah, I can follow that. Thanks for watching. If you really like this video, be sure and give it a thumbs up. For more content, hit the subscribe button below and you'll be notified every time a new video comes on this topic of really big questions. And in the meantime, be sure and check out our channel for more videos on marriage, sex, parenting, and any topic that's important to you. Because if it's important to you, it's important to us. Thanks.